The Dallas Cowboys are about to make a horrific mistake, so we're gonna be going through that and 5 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Dallas Cowboys news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel hitting that red button down below. The first story is Dallas Cowboys just made a horrific mistake, are about to let Dalton Schultz go for free. The Dallas Cowboys and starting tight end Dalton Schultz may be heading for a breakup, with the playmaker set to hit free agency. The Cowboys used the franchise tag on Schultz in 2022, but the team is using this designation on Tony Pollard for this upcoming season. Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer reported that Schultz has already turned down a pretty solid multi-year offer from the Cowboys, but did not specify the timeline for the negotiations. Assuming Pollard doesn't get a deal by Tuesday in Dallas, and with Ingram tagged, Dalton Schultz will avoid being tagged and hit the market as the top available tight end. Breer wrote on March 6, 2023, he's already turned down a pretty solid multi-year offer from the Cowboys. Pro Football Focus has Schultz as the number 20 ranked available free agent and top-rated tight end. Schultz is expected to have multiple suitors, and the Cowboys will need to work out a long-term deal to keep the playmaker in Big D, with the franchise tag now off the table. With Schultz's future in doubt, Dallas is increasingly being linked to some of the top tight end prospects in the upcoming draft. ESPN's Mel Kiper and The Athletic's Dane Brugler both have the Cowboys replacing one Dalton for another, predicting the team will take Utah tight end Dalton Kincaid at number 26 in their latest mock drafts. According to The Athletic's John Machota, the Cowboys are not interested in getting into a bidding war for Schultz, with growing buzz that the team could instead address the position as soon as the first round. Spotrac projects Schultz's market value to be a 4-year, $60.5 million contract, much higher than the $10.9 million salary the tight end played on last season. Drafting a tight end at number 26 is much more in play now than I thought when I left for Indianapolis, Machota wrote on March 8th. It's arguably the deepest position group in this draft class, and the Cowboys are intrigued. Dalton Schultz has been a very productive tight end for Dallas over the last 3 seasons, averaging 66 receptions, 667 yards, and 5.6 touchdowns per year. But he is an unrestricted free agent after playing under the franchise tag last season, and it doesn't sound like the Cowboys are interested in getting into a bidding war for his services. With the Cowboys slated to pay Pollard more than $10 million next season, Dallas is at a breaking point with Ezekiel Elliott, who has a $10.9 million salary for 2023. Despite the team's public praise of Elliott, the Cowboys could release the running back if the star does not agree to a significant pay cut. Elliott still has 4 seasons remaining on a $90 million contract, a financial deal well above the current market value for a running back. ESPN's Todd Archer pointed to former stars DeMarcus Ware and Dez Bryant, who were both released, as potential precedent for Elliott's future. Elliott is set to count $16.4 million against the salary cap, with a non-guaranteed $10.4 million base salary. Archer noted on March 6th, the Cowboys could look for Elliott to take a significant pay cut, but it's worth pointing out they did not make pay cut offers to linebacker DeMarcus Ware and receiver Dez Bryant before releasing both players. The second story is Dak Prescott pressures Cowboys front office for a new contract extension. It seems like Dak Prescott doesn't want to leave the Dallas Cowboys soon. After tons of movements lately, the quarterback has put some extra pressure on the team's front office to sign a new and juicy contract extension. Dak Prescott is looking intensively to stay with the Dallas Cowboys. However, the quarterback knows the team really wants him with them for more years, so he has pressured their front office to offer him a new contract extension soon. The 2022 NFL season was not the best for the Cowboys. Even though they were seen as strong candidates to compete for the Super Bowl 57, they fell short and were eliminated by Brock Purdy's San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round. But a new year has started for the NFC East squad, and they have high hopes for the upcoming campaign. Dak Prescott will lead them again, but the quarterback knows the team must value him with a new and juicy contract extension in order to continue for more time at Dallas. A day after Daniel Jones signed an extension with the Giants, Dak Prescott has decided he wants one too. The quarterback signed a 4-year, $160 million deal in 2021. but he's now focusing on a restructure and has pressured the Cowboys to do so. "I'm excited to be a Dallas Cowboy," Prescott said at the Grant Halliburton Foundation's Beacon of Hope luncheon about mental health awareness. "Always dreamed to be here. Now that I'm here, I don't expect to play for any other team. Now it's just about winning, and now it's about to get that done and just to hear the front office. Looking forward to an extension. When that time comes, it will happen. I'm with Steven. It may just happen overnight. When it happens, it happens. It will be great." The Cowboys have no intentions of moving on from the 29-year-old, and they have repeated it multiple times. This new extension would have to make sense for both parties in order to continue together for more years. The third story is Cooper Rush is willing to leave Cowboys for a backup role in Chargers. In recent news regarding the Dallas Cowboys, backup quarterback Cooper Rush is reportedly considering a move to the Los Angeles Chargers. Rush may be reuniting with former Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore in the process. Rush is set to become a free agent on March 15, and rumors have been circulating about his potential departure from Dallas. While Rush has been a free agent before, this would be the first time he is being heavily pursued in the league. This is due in part to his successful performances as starting quarterback for Dallas during the 2022 season. After Dak Prescott suffered a right finger fracture, Rush stepped in as starting quarterback for 5 games, finishing with 4 wins and 1 loss. He completed 94 passes out of 162 attempts for a total of 1,051 yards and 5 touchdowns. While he did have 3 interceptions, all 3 occurred in one game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Interestingly, Rush holds the record for the best start for a quarterback in Cowboys history with 5 consecutive wins after starting as quarterback against the Minnesota Vikings in late October 2021. While Dallas may try to retain Rush, it is possible that they may look for other options, such as University quarterback Max Duggan or Will Grier, who is already part of the Cowboys organization. There are rumors that Rush may become the backup quarterback for Justin Herbert in the Chargers organization. As the 6th pick in the 2020 draft, Herbert finished the 2022 season with 4,739 passing yards and 25 touchdowns. Moore's goal is to improve Herbert's game even further, and Rush's experience and history working with Moore may be of great assistance. The Chargers will be looking to dethrone the reigning Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, in the upcoming season. The fourth story is blockbuster trade proposal sees Cowboys land $40 million star. The Dallas Cowboys could be the ideal landing spot for a former Pro Bowler. As proposed by Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, a top hypothetical trade package would see the Cowboys unloading a 7th-round draft pick in this year's draft in exchange for Jacksonville Jaguars cornerback Shaquille Griffin. In this scenario, the Cowboys would lean on Griffin as a secondary option if they can't pull off a trade for Los Angeles Rams cornerback Jalen Ramsey. While Griffin struggled with injuries last season and underwhelming play the previous year, Knox explains why the veteran cornerback, who had a 3-year, $40 million contract with the Jaguars from 2021 to 2023, can be an appealing option for Dallas. If the Cowboys balk at the price of acquiring Ramsey, Jacksonville Jaguars cornerback Shaquille Griffin could be a nice alternative, said Knox. Griffin missed the bulk of last season with a back injury and wasn't particularly effective the year before, but he was a Pro Bowler with the Seattle Seahawks in 2019. He's a tier or 2 below Ramsey, but he's only 27 years old and could likely be acquired on the cheap. While the Cowboys could certainly acquire Griffin via trade for a low draft pick, the 27-year-old will likely become a free agent in the coming days. As ESPN's Jeremy Fowler notes, the Jaguars will release Griffin if they can't find a trade partner. The Jaguars are expected to release or attempt to trade CB Shaquille Griffin in the coming days, per sources, said Fowler. A release would save $13.1 million in cap space. Still just 27 and a former Pro Bowler, Griffin figures to be a key player in the cornerback market. Griffin appeared in just 5 games last season after starting 14 games during his first season in Jacksonville during the 2021 season. According to Pro Football Focus, Griffin did struggle last season, posting a 61.8 defensive grade. However, he was actually solid during the previous season, posting a 72.0 defensive grade. Among all cornerbacks with at least 500 snaps during the 2021 season, Griffin ranked 22nd in defensive grade. The fifth story: Cowboys nearing major contract resolution with Tyron Smith. Tyron Smith's career will likely land him in Canton whenever it ends, but it doesn't appear the Dallas Cowboys are ready to let that happen just yet. Smith is currently due $13.6 million for the final year of his current contract with the Cowboys in 2023. That number led to speculation that Smith could become a cap casualty this offseason. Instead, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported on Wednesday afternoon that the Cowboys are making plans to bring Smith back. The Cowboys are working on a resolution to bring eight-time Pro Bowler Tyron Smith back for a 13th season, which could include a reworked contract. Per sources, Fowler wrote in a tweet, bringing back Smith on his current contract would necessitate a number of corresponding moves by the Cowboys, not the least of which would be finding another way to create cap space. Dallas already needs to clear several million in cap room before the start of the 2023 season. If they aren't going to do it by cutting or restructuring Smith, other moves will have to be made. Whether the Cowboys restructure Smith or not, there are still questions about his place on the offensive line in Dallas as the 32-year-old's durability has come into question in recent seasons. A gruesome hamstring injury caused Smith to miss the first 13 games of the 2022 season, and he hasn't played more than 13 games in any year since 2015. The veteran played right tackle when he came back from injury last season thanks to the play of rookie left tackle Tyler Smith in his absence. If Tyron Smith returns in 2023, there are no guarantees about where he plays, but it seems the Cowboys evidently feel strongly enough about his importance to the offensive line to look past the tackle's injury concerns.